Scoops it up. Booker brings the boom.
The boom. That's how we finish out the year at Run Pure Sports, baby. We got an NBA Hardwood show talking a little 4-game DraftKings slate. And I got my man Big T to finish out the year. 2-man booth here. Big T, you ready to talk some hoops?
You got to finish the year strong here tonight with a little 4-gamer too. The sweet spot. I always like the smaller slates like
these are your slates, Big T. I'm expecting.
And we got an injury on the slate too, which makes it even dicier. I love it. Well, not dicier, but like the slates I like where you got some clear-cut plays.
Yeah, this is your slate. I expect you in first place. Either first or you're the first loser, as in second. I expect nothing less from you on this slate.
First or second. That's
it. That's it. If
like
you're
that.
Third, you're out. Get the fuck out. Okay. But I give you a little wiggle room.
Realistic expectations. I like that.
That's right. I give you a little wiggle room. I gave it to you first or second, and that's how we're gonna do it here. But yeah, we're going to talk a little hoops action. But Big T, I did want to start us off with, I don't know if you watched any of the earlier game, but you know how all the ratings talk is going on right now at the NBA, how it's so low and everything like that. If you want to wonder why the NBA's ratings are down, just tune into that Boston Celtics Toronto game. Turn the replay back on, because that is the example of why the NBA ratings are down, because they've got guys that nobody knows about playing in these games, and nobody gives a shit about them anymore. Boston just frigging crushed Toronto. I don't know if you probably didn't even notice it, Tony, but I mean, it was like 106-59 at one point, and I turned away after that. I mean, besides Peyton Pritchard being the GOAT, obviously, besides that, there was nothing. Toronto had Jacoby Walter and Jamal Sheed, and actually I kind of like him a little bit, but they had Mogba.
You can like him all you want. He's not going to make the general public want to watch basketball.
This is my point, though. Like, you can't sell that product to people and then expect your ratings to go up. It's just crazy. Like, this is the reason. The reason is because, and I'm not going to blame LeBron for this, because he didn't start this. It started before him with the Celtics and the Big Three, but that gave everyone the idea, oh shit, when we're a little older, we can go just team up with people and make these like sick teams. But what that did is it pretty much just made all those shitty markets have like no good stars, not even superstars, Tony, just like no good stars. So now like no one knows who's playing on like the Wizards and all these teams, because they have nobody and no one cares about them. All the good players are in like the same places. You look at Phoenix, they've got Booker and Durant and Bradley Beal. My point is there's multiple stars on a bunch of teams, and then there's teams with nobodies. And that is the reason why the ratings are down, in my opinion. It started a while ago, but that's the reason, Tony. It's because we've got so many poor teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little of everything, and we like basketball, but it's how many channels the games are on. It's how many guys sit here and there. It's just everything. And I do agree with what you're saying too. There's so much lopsided where like Boston's just so much better than Toronto.
Oh my dude, look at Boston and literally just like their whole starting lineup. It's so sick. And then you look at who Toronto threw out there. It's like Davion Mitchell, Jacoby Walters. This is who they started.
I agree with a lot of this stuff too, like this though. Like just even for us, even there's just so much you have to pay attention to because the guy's sitting. It's just not a normal. Sure, football you got to watch like news and stuff. Baseball but it's not like this where every night, like tonight, you got a game at 7, 8, 2 at 9. Like you got to pay attention till 9. Rubio gave his spiel about SaberSim and how good it is, but one of the things you got to do that everyone's good, you got to run it before every game. So like tonight, if you want to do it right, you got to be at your computer at 7, at 8, at 9, which is fine. Again, professional gambling, you should have to do stuff like that, but that doesn't help casuals. And casuals are what helps ratings, and you just not. And gambling helps ratings. Like casuals want to gamble. They want to do parlays and they're going to do football stuff. But basketball, they don't want to freaking do it. Or they play Anthony Davis tonight and he rolls an ankle 3 minutes in and sits out the rest of the game. And all, I mean, there's a lot of fact. I love the NBA like everyone does, but I struggle to watch. Like I didn't watch anything earlier today. It's just, yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you. And I'm a huge basketball guy too, and I don't blame you. I mean, that was a tough watch. Like what I just had on the screen was a tough watch. And yeah, Pepe, I hate the people blaming the 3-point line.
That's the most annoying part of the whole thing.
The 3-point line is not the reason. I wish I could remember
basketball by playing the right way. So that's the problem.
Tony, there was this guy. He did I wish I knew his name on Twitter. It's some random guy I just like stumbled across. He did a great breakdown of the 3-point line and everyone's saying how the ratings are down and stuff. It's like, no, people are trying to copy something that we've already had. And it was the Spurs with Greg Popovich. There's a big difference though in the way they played back when those good Spurs teams with like Parker, Ginobili and all those guys, there's a huge difference. On that team, they shot a bunch of threes, but on that team, they made the extra pass. The ball movement was insane. It was always get the open guy, the open look, whether it was a three or a dunk or whatever it was. And I feel like a lot of teams are trying to copy that, Golden State and stuff like that. But the problem is you just don't have the players to replicate it. And nowadays, everyone just wants to be Steph Curry, i.e. Jordan Poole types who are bad, erratic shooters and just so inconsistent, but they want to like shoot step back threes and pretend like they're that way all the time. It's just like, no, you can't replicate that. Steph is Steph. Clay is Clay. There's not many Steph and Clays, but everyone wants to come into the league pretending they're Steph and Clay, the Splash Brothers and all that stuff. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You're not that great. Or if you were, then I could see the 3-point line being an issue, but it's not because no one is. Even Boston, as good as they are, they go through 3-point ups and downs and stuff like that.
People don't even understand, though, why it's an issue. You can move it wherever you want. Teams are still going to play the same way, spacing two guys in the corner, running pick and roll. It's what basketball is. Shit, we do it in the 4th grade now. Like you spread the floor. My team doesn't shoot threes, and I'm not using every team, not my team. I'm just saying any team. If you have a good coach, you're going to spread the floor. And yeah, the younger you are, you're not going to shoot threes, but you're still going to do the same thing. You're going to have two guys in the corner. You're going to get movement. You're going to have spacing. The game's not going to change just because of that. It used to be that graph that was going around Twitter is the best, where it was like 20 years ago, the whole shot graph that I'm sure you saw that everyone saw that was circulating Twitter was all mid-rangers. And that's never going to be that way again, no matter what you do. I mean, never. I guess you could just, I don't know what you would do to get people to shoot mid-rangers, but why would you shoot mid-rangers? Even the best mid-range people in the world, KD and these DeRozan and these mid-range guys.
Yeah.
They're barely efficient and they're the best in the world to ever do it. So like, I mean, what's a normal person going to shoot? A normal player going to shoot a long 2 for? You'd be an idiot. So
yeah, again, unless you're Kobe Bryant, Michael, these were the best mid-range
you're literally
guys.
The best.
Allen Iverson, all these guys.
Like Kobe and Jordan would have shot those long 2s in this game. They would have adjusted and shot 3s.
They would have. Yeah, they would have 100%.
Changing the 3s isn't going to do shit. But the real thing is they've solved basketball. And something will change it. Something always changes it. Some defensive guy will come along and figure out a way to guard it. It just hasn't happened yet. It'll happen, and I have no idea what you can do to guard it, but somebody will figure something out to make it.
In my opinion, if you want to watch the best basketball be played, at least in my time, which I'm not that old, so I don't want to go back too far, but those Spurs teams, Tony, the bench, the starters, those
the
teams
that whooped LeBron's ass.
But those teams and kind of back a little bit too, right? That was a long stretch. That was like 10, 12 years of like straight
two
success.
Different styles too, because in the beginning they played all post up, and then they started moving the ball for threes.
Correct, but that was the best basketball I ever saw for a long period of time, where it was just so consistent and it was just perfect. And Pop, if anyone fucked up, Pop would pull their ass. He'd scream at them. Like, it was just great. Like, he had his bench guys. I would remember times where he would be pissed at some of the starters and he would just roll with the bench and he'd roll with it the rest of the game and say, screw those guys, because these guys are playing harder and doing what I want. And it's just not that way anymore. Guys have egos, and I don't think they could handle that type of scrutiny. I think that's another problem too, that these guys, I don't think could handle some of the stuff that went on maybe back then with some of those tougher coaches like Pop and stuff. Like, some of these guys would crumble nowadays, but that's a different discussion here. But yeah, I had a speech ready. I mean, I didn't rehearse it or anything like that. I'm not like, getting my speech in the mirror, getting it rehearsed, Twig. But I was ready for this conversation. We had a 4-game NBA slate. I wanted to talk a little just general basketball with the people. I miss talking general basketball with the people, Tony.
Yep. I like it too. I still want to give it, now that football's winding down, I still want to see our boy Raxon in there. I still want to do the playback 1 or 2 nights a week where we watch the games, because I like that. I enjoy it. We just haven't had a ton of time yet, but we will as football winds down. All of a sudden,
I'm going to test you, Tony. I'm going to test you, Tony. I dropped another winner in the chat. It was a live winner. Did you bet it?
What day? Today?
Yesterday.
For
last
football?
night. No, last night. Hoops.
No, I didn't look at no freaking hoops bet.
I posted it in the bets chat, in the channel.
What does that mean to me?
What, do you not have a Run Pure Sports Discord subscription? What is this bullshit?
I don't have notifications when it just pops up. I never saw it.
I got a question, chat. Is it hard
to text me winners? I text you winners.
Is it hard, chat, for you to just hit the DraftKings Sportsbook app and then go to the player props? Oh, the Discord.
See the bet to bet it. I didn't. How do I see it? I don't just sit in there and wait for you to post it.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
If you text me, I guarantee I'd have bet it.
The last thing I will say is, I know you didn't watch the Charlotte game last night, Tony, but just another example. Surprisingly. Did you watch the end?
That's when I watched, because I had Miles and
just another example of what we always talk about: foul up 3 at the end of the game.
I get tired of talking about it.
It's insane though. Patrick Williams had, I'm not kidding you, on that Miles Bridges play where he was pivoting around, getting ready to shoot that 3. He had 3 different chances to foul him, in my opinion, and did not foul him.
Coaches don't want them to. I'm convinced of it. Like, I just don't get it.
There's 5 seconds on the clock. 4 seconds.
You're preaching to the choir. I like taking it even further. What, like JJ and LeBron were talking about on the podcast, where you're fouling like up 6 just because then they can't get it to 3. I like taking it even further. Like, I just don't get it. You're up 6 points, you foul, it can only be 4. And then what happens is all of a sudden they don't have timeouts left, so they can't advance the ball. I don't understand why. As good as people shoot threes now too, why? I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, here's my other thing too. I understand, like, it should be this simple, Tony. If a play is drawn up for a guy to catch the ball off the inbound and shoot a 3, okay, don't foul. Just put your hands up and make him make that tough shot. But if a play is drawn up with under 10 seconds where he has to actually put that ball on the floor, that means you have plenty of time.
Yeah, you just work
to
on
foul.
Like, yeah, if he's going up to shoot, you don't foul. You're in the NBA. Every player should be smart enough
That's
to
what I'm
know
saying,
when
though.
to
How is
foul.
this hard? I don't understand. I mean, I loved it because I had the game stack, so I was rooting for
I needed overtime too.
So I loved it, but I was just like sitting there and I'm just
It
thinking
still
about it.
goes to the same thing. I
What?
say it in the fourth down things, the same example. If you're playing defense or if you're playing offense, what do you want them not to do? You don't want them to
Yeah.
foul you. If I'm on offense, I do not want them to foul me. I want to have a chance to make a three.
The opposing coach that has the ball on offense is not saying, "Oh, please foul, please foul, please foul."
Of course they
You know
don't
what I'm
want you to
saying?
foul. You know
I
how much
always
harder it is to go to overtime if they foul you?
I always talk about this, though. It's the same thing. Like when I played hoops, I would play against kids who are just like, "You won't shoot that," or you won't take me to the like. You always do the opposite of what they say, because I know in the back of their heads they want me to shoot, or they don't want me to shoot and they want me to drive. Like it's that
crazy.
simple. Basketball is not that hard when it comes. I feel like coaches make it hard. I feel like coaches make it hard in the NFL. They don't even know how to use timeouts when the clock's running down. There's just so many things.
The basketball tilts me even more, though. And then you got the coaches that are like, we'll just get a stop and then it doesn't matter. That's not the point, you idiot. What are you talking about?
The point is you don't need to get that stop because they can only
shots all game,
score.
though. If you play basketball, you get open shots. Like, what is this? The third grade girls? Like, just because you want to stop doesn't mean someone can't get open.
Tony, you can't say that. You can't say third grade. You can't single out the girls.
We can again now. We already talked about this. There's no
Oh, I forgot. You're right.
Anymore. Yeah,
you're right. We can single out the girls now. Screw it. Hey, I coached girls basketball for years. I can single them out all I want. I saw the basketball.
In 6th grade. I plays basketball. It's bad. It's bad basketball. Like it's just
bad basketball. It's tough watch. I actually went and watched her play one time.
This is another one too that kills me, Pepe. Where's it at? When they just and this is more college and high school and younger because NBA is
college is the worst, bro.
College when they pull two immediately, and then they'll finish the game with two on top of it.
Yeah,
so it just drives me nuts.
Because they sit the whole first half, and then they're like, "Okay, I'm not going to foul, or I'll sit the whole second half." So it's like I'm just going to put my hands behind my back. Like, what are we doing? On top of it, Tony, just make it 6 fouls in college.
That's what it should be for sure. And then if
they
make
it
up
better.
3, I mean, whatever. They pick up 3, like
it would make the game better. It would make it way better. It would keep the
brutal. I'm the opposite. And again, I'm only coaching young kids, but it's still fun to like talk about strategies. I'm the opposite though. I'll just leave them in there until they get 4. And then when they get 4 though, it tilts me because I have to sit them. So I'll just put them down for a while once they get 4.
I think you do that. I think you do that on purpose. I think you do that like as just a statement.
Take it too far. I don't like to sit them. I'm like, they're kids. I don't want to sit them. But when they pick up 4, your hands are tied. You're like, you just got to sit them. There's nothing you can do.
I feel like kids, though, I guess if they don't do anything wrong and they're just like tough calls, I guess it's not. But if they're like doing the same thing over and over, I would sit them just to be like, dude, you can't.
They don't know how to control it like older kids either. Like you can tell them not to foul. They don't fully get it at that age.
I would literally tell the kid if they reach forward at the ball, they owe me like 5 push-ups for every reach until they just have to do push-ups after the game. Yeah, or sprints. No, seriously, like, dude, if you reach for that ball and it's you're reaching with your offhand across your body, you just can't do that. Kids will learn. They'll learn. I'm telling you right now, if you make kids do enough sprints, suicides, push-ups, whatever you want to call it, they'll stop eventually, Tony. I would guarantee it. Just make Grayson do push-ups every time he fouls. Push-ups.
He went from being the softest last year to he's the most aggressive this year. It's fun. He's always in foul trouble.
I'm not going to take full credit for this, but I will say I showed him how to be a little guy and to own people.
I love it too. I love the aggression.
My favorite.
It does kill me. Like we were in the championship last weekend, and he was one of the ones that had 4 pretty quick. But he had 1 at halftime, and then he picked up 3 in 6 minutes, and it was just brutal.
They spiral sometimes, Tony. With those,
and 2 of them were bad calls, so it happened really quick, and it was like, now I got to sit him for 10 minutes.
The thing with your son too is he plays so fast, so he gets sped up a lot. So He's aggressive, exactly. So he can't. That's what you're saying by they can't help themselves.
And I literally tell him, like, dude, you have fouls. Do not read. Same thing you're saying.
He
do not read.
See, he's specific. Like, he can't play any other way. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell him to slow down. Like, there's one speed. It's either on or off. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no in between. There's no off switch. That's more what you're talking about. But I get it. I was young and like the foul sometimes. You saw me on the court. You know, you get a few.
I'll be honest. I like it having those issues. I'd much rather that than the other way. Because last year, and again, I'm talking to people probably don't care about this stuff, but it is strategy.
That's all right. We'll get to the.
Last year was the opposite, where I had to beg him to foul anyone. Like, he wouldn't foul anyone, and it was way worse. I would rather never that again. I'll deal with the foul trouble.
That's right. That's right. That's what, sometimes you gotta just push them around a little bit until they get it. They'll figure it out eventually.
This is also correct. Lots of softies. The Europeans are more disciplined. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of softies these days for sure.
It's facts. She said, you Pape, since I can't roster being there, Jaden. I don't know what that means, but okay. I like Jaden Daniels. Tony, do you want to get to the actual NBA slate that we have on this 4-gamer New Year's Eve?
I'm still mad that Gregory wins every day and then he doesn't come on the show with us to finish the year. My feelings are hurt. Last show of the year, no Gregory. I wish we could put that GIF on the screen right now. I wish that GIF could come on our screen.
We try. Oh, the GIF, my favorite GIF.
Yeah, I wish we could put it on there right now for him.
Can someone upload that to the StreamYard so we have that for life, please? Somebody at some point. I need that GIF. It needs to be uploaded. We need it, please. Yeah, screw Greg. Fuck him. I don't know what he's doing right now, but screw him. We tried to get him on. Didn't work. Tony, you want to just run through this? Do you want to go position? I mean, it's a small slate. What do you want to do? Do you want to go game by game or position by position?
I mean, this is your wheelhouse. NBA, does feel like it's always easier game by game, but whatever you want.
Game by game it is, my friend. Clippers and Spurs, game 1 on the slate. Now, Tony talked about this, and Greg was saying it's very important. If you are using SaberSim and stuff with these small slates and some of the games locking at different times, right, you should be running it before these game locks. So obviously right before 7, right before 8, and then right before 9, you're rerunning with the late swap feature. If you are someone using SaberSim, he said that is a very important thing. But Tony, you get one of those slates where not all the games lock at the same time, right? You got one game at 7, get a game at 8, and then 2 games at 9. So not like a crazy slate in terms of, well, I would say from like a news perspective, because we kind of got a lot of news already with all these Memphis guys like out officially. And then you got, some of these Phoenix guys that's kind of what we're waiting on, confirmation with the Phoenix guys and the Lakers pretty much. So, all these other teams are pretty much kind of good from that standpoint. But the Clippers Spurs are game 1. Let's hit there. Not a lot of injury news to talk about in this game. So most of the teams are pretty much fully healthy here. Clippers and Spurs. You got Wembanyama. I know your favorite stud. I assume you're going to like him here on this slate. James Harden, second, obviously, on the Clippers. And then you got guys like Norman Powell, who's been crushing lately. I mean, just absolutely pouring on the points. I mean, look at his last 5 games, 35, 26, 29, 28, 29, real points. I mean, the dude's been scoring. He's been a bucket kind of all year too. He's been crushing Norman Powell. And, seems like a decent play. Our boy Zubac, again, I hate playing centers against Wemby, but it is a small slate, and he has been really good. What are we doing here with the Clippers and Spurs?
Yeah, I just can't play centers against Wemby either, especially guys. I struggle even more with guys like Zubac. I love Zubac. I love Zubac as much as anyone, pretty much. Love the minutes he's getting, love the production. It's just one of those matchup things in my head that I struggle with, him being more of like a post use his body people up, stuff like that to get his buckets. And I just don't think that works as good versus Wemby. Wemby, I think you got to have a little more inside, outside. I mean, not to use Jokic as an example just because he's superhuman with stuff, but that type of thing where you can go outside and inside, body him up, take him out, all that. That's not as much Zubac. I think Zubac plays more into the hands of Wemby, where I like Zubac against all the soft guys, where like he'll just bully him, kind of like the Houston guy too, which I'm totally drawing a blank on.
Sengun.
Yeah, Sengun, where both of them the same way, where they just body people. I don't think that works on Wemby as much. So I'm not going to like Zubac tonight, but I do always like Norm Powell. I mean, the guy he's just good. And I'm disappointed because he's the guy I wanted Denver to get in the offseason. He's just solid. He just makes, no matter what team he's on, he's going to make him better. This has been his best season of the year. You can always play him. His price always scares me, but he's just solid, especially if he's like a last piece in where it just makes sense. And he's never going to be high owned because of his price and his projection. So the only problem I don't love about the Clippers, they just play all these guys and they're all similar, like Porter and Jones and Coffee, Batum's an older version of it. But there we go. Yeah, there we go. It just popped up on the screen. Who popped in? Yes. AP? Did AP come in and pop it on there?
I'm cool if we just keep this thing up for the whole show and we just talk through it, Tony.
The whole show, and we're just over and over.
I got it. I got it. But now we got it uploaded in.
What if our faces were off on the side and that thing was just on there for the full hour?
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you I'm assuming it was AP, but whoever did that.
It had to be AP. That's funny.
Thank you very much, AP.
But yeah, I don't love the Clippers besides Norm Powell. And this is one of those slates where I'm just going to like later stuff more with the way it sets up. So I don't need to go crazy in these early ones. Wemby, obviously I like Wemby. I like his matchup against the Clippers for the exact opposite reasons of Zubac, where I don't love it for Zubac. And they got some drivers too. The way these guys play, like Harden, he likes to get in there, which should be good for Wemby too. I think a lot of the things the Clippers do play into Wemby's hands. So I like Wemby, and you can always play Chris Paul with them. Keldon Johnson, I haven't liked him much. I don't love his ceiling, but he's 3,500. That price looks cheap. Harrison Barnes' price looks cheap on a small slate. But again, these guys play a lot of guys too. Trey Jones has had a few good games in the last. The only reason I'm even talking about these guys because it's a short slate, but Trey Jones let me pull up his numbers. He had a 23 and a 22 in the last 2 weeks for 3K. So I think guys like that for the Spurs just pop off at times, and you don't know when it's going to come, and it's more unpredictable. But Stone Min 3K for a guy that could get extended run at times. I don't know. I don't think I don't think these 3K guys are that bad of plays outside of them being in the first game.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I mean, listen, on these type of slates, the one thing I will say about the Spurs is they've kind of like rolled back from playing, as much Zach Collins and stuff like that. Against the Nets, they pretty much just went like exclusive with their guards, like as backups, like Castle and Jones and Champagny and Keldon Johnson, and didn't even play guys like Zach Collins and Charles Bassey off the bench, which I think is the right move. But I think it was also a little matchup based because then they went back against Minnesota and Zach Collins played like a little bit, like 7 minutes. Bassey played like a few minutes, but very few, you know what I mean? So I think they're trying to get away from those type of plays and trying to get more just like athleticism and using Shohan and Wemby as like the centers and almost like starting with them, but then playing off those two guys off of each other. So like the minutes Wemby's not on the floor, it's Shohan at center. I think those are their best lineups. So is this a team like the Clippers that they can do that with? I think it is, Tony. I think you could see something like that against a team like the Clippers. So it wouldn't shock me if maybe Trey Jones picked up a couple more minutes or Keldon Johnson. So I kind of like your take on maybe like one of those cheap Spurs here. What, Greg?
No, the end of this college football game was 35-28 and Washington scored, and like they should do in a bowl game, went for 2 in the win, and they didn't get it. 35-34.
Oh, no,
final.
they didn't get it?
Yeah,
No.
35-34.
I will say, though, I thought that game was completely dead, and they came back and almost won. They were down, weren't they down 35-21 in the fourth quarter, and Louisville had the ball driving?
Yeah, yep.
Holy shit. How did that? Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't watch it, obviously, because we were going, but I saw the end of it.
Did the Illinois game finish, Tony?
No, that game's still got a whole fourth quarter left. They're up 4.
Who's winning that game?
Illinois is up 4.
Illinois is up 4. Okay. I bet them live when it was like, I think it was up at like 13.5. And I was like, how? Like,
yeah,
I was like, I watched the first quarter or something like that. And I was just like, how are they 13.5 dogs? It was 3-0. I was like, what are we doing here? And that quarterback stunk. That dude, who's the dude in South Carolina?
He's another guy that can only run. The guys that can only run will do
and
that.
They were like, oh, he's going to be in the Heisman consideration next year.
Got him in my fantasy squad today.
do you really? Oh, that's funny. I just said he
He's
sucked.
a runner. It's like he'll put up fantasy numbers. I mean, he scores like 40 fantasy a game. I
saw that at the end of the first half. They were driving, and the clock wasn't running. I forget if there was like 35 seconds left or 28, and it was 3rd and 6. And they called the damn quarterback run, and he got stuffed backwards for 2 yards.
That's college for you.
From like the 23, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, what? Throw the football. Why? So if he gets stuffed or you miss by like a yard and it's 4th and 1, the clock's I just didn't get the play call at all. It just didn't make sense to me. Whatever. And then they missed the field goal on top of it, which is another thing with college.
Some things in college for sure.
Yeah, I guess that I get it surprised because I don't watch as much college. So when I start watching it, like at the end of the year, all this shit always surprises me, and I don't know why it does.
It's a different world out there.
Yeah, it's a different word. I am excited to see this kid play, though. I have not gotten to see any Boise State, so everyone's talking about like he's amazing.
Matchup to come into. We'll see how he. If he has a big game, he did crush Oregon. One of his only big games of the year. Oh, big like matchups of the year. He crushed Oregon.
I was gonna say, doesn't he have like 2,400 rushing yards?
I mean, he definitely crushes the bad teams.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
He's a beast. Don't get me wrong, but like some of his numbers are definitely inflated.
I get it. I totally get it. Him and I watched the Arizona State running back, who's pretty good. I watched him once.
He's a volume guy too. They just get so much volume.
He's fun. I watched him play. He's fun. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But Scatabo. I knew he had a cool name. I just couldn't remember it. But yeah, I'm excited for that game here. Let's get back to this slate though. So the Spurs, I'm totally on board. And they finally brought Keldon Johnson's price tag down to like a point where I can. For some reason, they had him up where he was like playing 6-man role minutes like consistently. And I'm like, he's not consistently getting like 27, 28 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, why is he, priced up like that? So they finally brought him down, and I'm totally on board with him and Trey Jones at those price tags.
Especially favorite play is Clippers. I think these guys are good matchups versus the Clippers.
Well, like I said, especially if they phase out and they just do Shohan at the 5 and Wemby at the 5 lineups where it's just those two guys and they go all those guards and wings as like the bench guys.
I like Harrison Barnes too, just because he could like the other night he played 34 minutes.
He could randomly fall into minutes. I think he's another good play because especially if you're making multiple teams. Now, if you're making like one team, you obviously got to take I wouldn't play all these guys together, right, Tony? Like I wouldn't play Trey Jones, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson.
They're not going to all get there for sure.
They're not. But maybe 2 of them could at those price tags.
I think 2 for sure will. It's just a matter of which 2. It's kind of random, which it's perfect for SaberSim.
It's extremely random. And like, who's to say that Castle couldn't play more today and get 25? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, there's all these guys in here. But yeah, I agree with your take. Like,
The
Harrison Barnes is
prices
another
are
guy.
make it easy though to gamble. The prices are just cheap.
The other two guys, so my plays are more Wemby at the top, and then I don't mind Norman Powell, but I'm kind of on the cheaper plays here because I like Chris Dunn. I think he's kind of like a safe play that can get you 30, but like he's probably going to get you in the 20s, but he's 4,200. I think he's a fine play, and he's got stock upside. So if you play on the other site, I think he's much more valuable. He's probably a better play on the other site, to be honest with you. But the other guy I like is Kevin Porter, just because this is like a perfect tournament play. I don't think people are going to click his name. When he plays, though, and he gets like 20, 24 minutes, he's got upside, man, and he's going to shoot. That's the other thing with him that I like. So, like, I mean, he only took 9 shots back. That was his first game back in like a week. But I think that goes up. It was, the front end of a back-to-back too, Tony. So they might have been keeping his minutes in check since he just came back from a week of not playing. So that wouldn't shock me at all. And I think he plays a few more minutes tonight, after getting held to only 16 minutes last night. And if he plays in that 20 range, I think he's a solid tournament play. So I like the cheap plays in this game. I like Wemby, and I like the cheap plays the most. Not to say some of these guys aren't in play, but they just kind of fall in the mix for me. But that's what I'm seeing here. Anything else before we move on?
No.
All right, Minnesota and OKC is next up here. Dante DiVincenzo, actually, back-to-back, really strong games for old Dante. 41 and 44 for Dante, putting up some big numbers, scoring 6 for 10 from 3, 5 for 10 from 3, Tony. This was like Knicks Dante, real quick, we saw for the last 2 games, where you just saw him just stroking threes, pulling up. Maybe he's getting a little more comfortable in this offense, Tony. That could be something too with the old Dante here. I know Na was out, I think, for at least one of those games. He might have been back for the last one. But what are we doing here with first Dante at his price tag, which has gone up, but still 4,600? I mean, what are we doing with Dante?
I mean, they just need offense too. They've always needed offense, so they need him to play better. That's part of the issue of why they've struggled a little bit the first half of the year. If he could get it going, it would definitely help this team a lot. But I don't know. I just don't like playing guys against OKC that much. And this is the one game of the 4 where I just don't love it. I mean, you got 2 teams that like to play defense, like to play hard. OKC likes to play a lot of guys too, where they bring a lot of different guys in there. I just don't like SGA is even priced up. This is the one game on the slate where I just don't like anything. I'm looking up and down the list. OKC, don't get me wrong, I like a few of these guys, but they're priced fairly. I don't think anyone is mispriced. Where that, and then the Minnesota side, could I play Dante? Yeah. Could I play Anthony Edwards? Yeah. I mean, he's all right. Randall's all right. But nobody in this game just checks off the page as being a play that I have to have. So I'm actually off this game completely.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is probably the worst game on the slate.
Be back in 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine. This is probably the worst game on the slate. That's why the only guy I was kind of looking at was someone cheap like Dante. But again, like I think he's more, the only in play because of like the price and the fact that they will need some scoring. But OKC is really good, especially on the perimeter defensively, and it's a tough matchup for everyone involved. So I'm with Tony on this game. I think out of the 4 games, this is the game I have the least amount of interest in, and I'll probably be the lowest on. And again, that doesn't mean you can't play in SGA. You can always play in SGA. But I'll probably have Wemby over SGA if you just made me choose stud. We haven't gotten to the Lakers guys yet, but probably one of the Lakers guys too. I just think that they're probably overall just better plays. And Ant Edwards, you guys know I love Ant Edwards, but 8,800, I probably won't go there either. The guy I wish I could get on board with, who I think has upside at his price tag, is Randall. I just don't love this spot for him though either. He's the one guy I feel like the price it's starting to get up close to where he should be, but he should be I think he should be like 8,100 and he's 76, but I guess I'm just kind of nitpicking here. It is a 4-game slate though, so lower on that game for sure. Next game on the slate, Cleveland and the Lakers. This is one of those games where we're still waiting on Anthony Davis was upgraded to probable. That's good. We're still waiting on LeBron, who has an illness. He's hasn't played. I think it was the last game. It was the game against Sacramento. He didn't play. Now he gets Cleveland in LA. Tony, first off, do you think LeBron plays? I'm going to say he plays here, but what do you think?
Yeah, I assume he'll play. The only risky part at all is it is New Year's Eve. The dude likes to get after it a little bit. And
He does.
I wouldn't be totally shocked if he sat out and just went and does who knows what he does on New Year's Eve. But
by the way, did you see him say he could play another 7 years if he wanted to?
Yeah, and I don't disagree if he's in the right situation. He can't be the best player for another 7 years, but if he goes – he needs to go somewhere.
His quote was he could play at a high level for 7 years for the next if he wanted to.
I think he could. I don't think he can do it in the same way though. I think he can be a spot up shooter and rebound a little and play hard. Like he'd be a better rotation piece than some of these middle guys. He's not going to be a star for 7 more years.
That's a good point. I mean, he could be a role just at a certain point though. Wouldn't you be like, I can't be a role player?
Like he probably won't. I mean, who knows? Like, what if he somehow went and played with SGA or I don't know the situation, but some other stud where, he gets stuck with this stiff like Anthony Davis that can't carry the load for him. He needs
No. We are not doing that on this show. We are not blaming Anthony Davis. Poor LeBron. He has Anthony Davis and can't win. I don't care. No, stop. He just got DFS for D'Angelo Russell.
Who's their best player?
AD.
You think AD's better than LeBron?
Right now, yes.
Like when they're in a playoff series, you seriously trust AD more than LeBron?
Yes.
I don't. I definitely
right now,
don't.
You would rather what?
In a playoff series, I definitely trust LeBron more than AD. If we're going to Game 7, I definitely trust LeBron more than AD.
No, I'm taking
LeBron just was the best player.
I take LeBron like 2 years ago, maybe.
Dude, AD has a puss.
Yeah, okay, so he's gonna cry when his ankle gets twisted. But I'm just saying, LeBron now, I don't think he's got way too much going on. I think that's why he won't play another 5 to 7 years. I think he's going to be done after probably after next year.
Good in the G League. Is the funny thing,
dude. So what's funny is the fact that Bronny, he's going to have the best of everything. His dad knows how to be an NBA pro. He knows how to train. He knows how to condition his body. He knows how to do everything, right? Like, if Bronny can't be even just an okay guy off the bench, it'll be sad because his dad literally knows everything.
If he had his dad's same exact body, he wouldn't be LeBron. I'm not saying he would be, but he would be a good NBA player.
Body, that'd be what are you talking? Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, you know what, Big T? Let's take it a step further. If JSU was 6'5" and 225 pounds like Big T was in college, JSU would have played at a Division II college too. All right, what the fuck are we talking about? Come on.
The point is, he's more skilled than people give him credit. He's just small. He's not big.
I'm sorry,
he's like a miniature version of. He's like mini me and Austin Powers.
Making when it comes to shots that he takes are insane. I mean, he's taking like running hooks from the side elbow. Like what he thinks he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out there shooting friggin' like hook shots, but like running.
Yeah, Bryce is better, Phil.
He's
Bryce
better.
is taller though. Bryce is way taller.
Yeah, I think Bryce has been better this whole time. Like even when Bronny like went into college, I think Bryce was better than him.
It's just weird
probably
because
then.
Bryce isn't as athletic. He's athletic, but he's not as athletic as Bronny. But he's got a better body. He's got a taller body, which helps.
Yeah, that's okay though. And he might be a little more polished by the time he gets like to the league. You know what I mean? So
I mean, people forget too, Bronny literally almost died on the court last year. So like he needs time to work through some things.
No, he did. I kind of wish he stayed in school, but I get why he didn't. He's whatever.
Baylor's trying to make a little push here. Baylor was getting spanked.
Now they're making a push to. Oh God, can we get? Washington died on us, but that's all right. Maybe we get Baylor through the finish line. But okay, so that's the LeBron talk here. If he plays,
that
Tony,
trade is what I want to talk about. That trade was pretty good from the Lakers.
I brought it up. You didn't even. I literally brought up DFS, and you poo-pooed it when I brought it up. But I love the trade
because fantasy, I don't like him fantasy wise, but as far as actual basketball, I mean, they got rid of a dude that I think's the worst player ever, and got a guy that can play 3 and D. Because I hate DFS fantasy wise, but as far as actual basketball, he's like Caldwell, like KCP, where you just love him being on your team.
He is the definition of terrible fantasy option night in, night out, but he's a great player for those guys to have on the team.
Yeah. And you got rid of a dead spot. Like
waste.
I mean, that guy, it is funny that he got traded from the same team back and forth twice, though.
Russell is the example, though, of what I was talking about, where these guys, they're so inconsistent. They want to jack the ball up. They've got these like weird, like side fadeaway shots, and he's just in and out constantly. He's never like fully locked in ever, right? Guys like D'Angelo Russell, they're just never fully locked.
He might
be locked in for like 2 games, Tony, but
even
then he's out.
Locked in, it's not locked in like you'd want, though. Like even when he scores, it's like not how I'd want someone to score. It's like he's just making shots because he's talented.
Correct. So that's the thing. They rely more on their talent than like the team. It's not like the team action that's getting them open looks most of the time. It's the talent, and those players are what's killing. I really believe this too, that those are the type of players that are just really killing the NBA as a whole. But I go back to Jordan Poole because that's just like the person that sticks into my head the most.
Did you hear the strongest rumor about Poole? Where he's going to go?
No.
The freaking Nuggets. I was dying laughing when I heard it.
No way. He's going to the
Nuggets. It's not like it's just a rumor, but like,
dude, how pissed will Jokic be if that dude brings up the ball and just jacks it from half court? Like, how pissed will he be? He might get a lot of open looks though if he plays it like the offense and stuff like that.
Maybe he learned something like what happened in Washington, where if he went to a good team again, like he wouldn't just be an idiot.
You know who they need to get? They need to get Malik Beasley from the Detroit Pistons. They need to get him, and then they need to get back Bruce Brown. They need to get those 2 guys. That's who Denver needs. They need those two
guys. They should have kept them.
Malik Beasley, bro. I know you haven't watched any Detroit, but he's been fired
this year. All year.
He's stroking.
I liked him when he played for freaking Denver. I loved him with Jokic already.
Yes, dude, he is if I'm Denver, I'm trying to go get someone like him and Bruce Brown.
Poole, MPJ.
Screw Poole.
I do hate MPJ. He's the one guy I've always hated. Even when he plays good, I don't like him because even when he plays, it's like the same thing you're talking about. Even when he plays good, it's like you don't trust it.
I just keep saying it, but these guys all come in with just like all this hype and stuff like that, and then it's just Milton, great dude. Shake Milton. I always thought Shake was a good basketball player. I always thought he just played in front of guys that were just more talented than him constantly. But like, I always thought he had a good game, just in general, but he never really got like a good shot.
Our Illinois
I
squad
like
just
him.
stuck it in again.
All right, let's go Illinois. Bruce Brown needs out of Toronto. Yeah, I mean, Bruce Brown went to get paid. Now he needs to go back to where the money got him started in the first place. Go back to Denver. I'm telling you though, Malik Beasley, that should be like the number one guy. Look at Peyton Pritchard just stroking threes like he's Steph Curry out
Are they
there.
playing right now?
No, it's the highlights, but my God, he was just pulling from he's so good. I love Peyton Pritchard. I just love it. Everyone thought he sucked too. It's my favorite. Cleveland,
Gregory
Tony, what are we doing?
said it was better. He's better than Trae Young. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
Greg.
you. Travis, I'm with you, Travis. We need a hand check every time he talks about friggin' Pritchard.
I thought it was about to just fall right backwards. I literally thought.
Wow, the short white dudes. Yeah, Travis. I like that, Travis.
Dude, Peyton Pritchard plays like someone I knew. Someone I knew. AKA my older brother. He literally plays exactly like him. It's the funniest thing ever. I make jokes all the time, but my brother was nasty, and he literally looked exactly like Peyton Pritchard, had the same haircut, everything, and played like him too. So love Peyton Pritchard. Brings me back. Time for Reggie to eat dinner. No, it's not. Fed him before the show. He's got to wait 2 hours, I think. Let's get to Cleveland.
What's on the
Tony,
bourbon
finally.
menu tonight? Man, my cough's struggling.
Tony's not drinking no bourbon. No fucking way.
I might. It's
No
bad
way.
mojo to not have a drink on New Year's.
Wait, it's bad mojo? I haven't had
Yeah.
a drink on New Year's since I was like 18.
Well, you also don't have a Christmas tree, so like it doesn't exactly break it down.
Hey, my wife's working until 2 a.m. tonight, Tony, so screw off. She's not even back home she won't get home until probably
I'm calling you
3:30.
on FaceTime at 12, right on the dot, and we're gonna do a shot together. We're gonna go.
All right, I'll take a shot and I'll throw it behind my shoulder like this. You won't even see it.
I've seen you always get the job done when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I never fake shit. That's true.
Yeah.
I never fake shit. This is also true, sadly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cleveland. Let's get to it, Tony. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's been really good recently. He's been crushing. I know he had one down game, but before that, bad game last time out, 44, 50, 55. Some pretty good games. He's 8K. Jared Allen, 6,500. Darius Garland, 75. Mitchell. They just have a lot of guys, Tony, is the one problem with Cleveland. But any night, it could be any of them.
What did we say that was gay?
Might be the gayest thing I've ever. What? Because we said the shot thing?
That couldn't have been what it was. Was that it?
It had to be. Damn.
That's gay. Travis says that's gay too. That's gay.
I want to know how many drinks deep is AP right now.
Travis is agreeing with him. That's gay. To do a shot with your buddy.
I mean, wait, how many people in this chat have done a shot with their friend?
I don't even know what. I don't understand it.
I mean,
is it all? Oh,
RPS is an all-inclusive community. That's why they let you be co-host or AP.
That was what they were talking about. Doing a shot.
I told you, dude. Listen. No. IPT 007. No fireball peanut.
The cameras, why they do it? The cameras, what they're saying, why it's gay. So if we just said it, if we're like, okay, I text them like, okay, let's do a shot. That's not gay, but FaceTime is. FaceTime is what gets it over the line, I think.
Oh, FaceTime. Well, I don't really FaceTime people, but
I didn't realize that FaceTime crosses the line.
When you won your Millie, I think you or I think you FaceTime me. Well, I text you and then you FaceTime me later, drinking somewhere. But is that gay?
I think we might be wrong. I mean, Chad is against us here. The FaceTime shot's kind of sus. I think we're on the negative side here. We might. I didn't realize it, but I think everyone agrees. I mean, everyone right here, FaceTime
All right.
shots. Okay. I mean, I didn't realize it, but I think everybody's against us.
Hey, listen, that's fine.
Kind of makes me want to do it more now. Just it's like when they make fun of your play or something, you always want to play that guy.
Yeah, now I actually want to like record this thing live as we do the shot and then like post it on Twitter or something like that. Just take it 2 steps further, Tony. You just go completely into it right now. Screw chat. We're doing it. Just not with peanut butter fireball. Ugh. I still can't get just the thinking of it out of my head sometimes when someone brings it up. It's so gross. Disgusting. Your body, your choice. Yeah. All right. Anything else that's gay? Let us know as we comb through some DFS plays for you. But back to my Cleveland take here, Tony. So Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. It's kind of tough to know Darius Garland's kind of tough to know which guy, game in, game out is going to go off. But I do think that like probably one of these guards, one of Mitchell or Garland goes off. And I could see one of the bigs going off. Like I think Garland's my favorite and Mobley are like the 2 guys I like the most from Cleveland, but that's with the price tags obviously included. If you told me you like Mitchell more, I wouldn't like argue with you about it. I kind of like how Darius has been playing. He's 7,200, so a little cheaper. Been playing super aggressive too. I think he's my favorite. I think Evan would be 2, and then Mitch would be 3. And then you got like all the cheap guys, like Max Struss is down there at 4,200. I mean, I don't know if I'm playing him, but he's cheap. What are you doing with Cavs?
So these short slates, I think you can game theory more than people think, and it's one thing I think I'm good at of the stuff like this. And I'm just saying it's New Year's Eve in LA. I just think you got to put more emphasis on that than you normally would. Like these guys are going to be thinking about what they're doing after the game, their plans, who they're going out with. If they're on FaceTime doing shots with their boys, they're thinking about plans tonight. So I just think this slate is super cut and dry for me, where I don't necessarily like this game. The prices too. So like last night I had a really good team going, and I got stuck though where I had to play this friggin' Evan Mobley at 7,800, and he's 8K today. And I didn't want to play him, but everything was perfect to fit him, and he just stunk all night. And I just don't love these prices. Can you play Donovan Mitchell? Yeah. Can you play Jared Allen sometimes 6,500? I just don't love the prices. And one of my favorite things to do on these short slates is just eliminate teams and eliminate spots. And Cleveland, to me, in LA on New Year's Eve, just feels tough to me.
All right. That's fair. So you're more on the Lakers side, I assume, with like LeBron, AD, or are you kind of just out on this game in general?
Yeah, I think the good thing is there's at least 2 9:00 games, in Memphis being the best of the bunch. You have a lot of pivot options. So I want to wait and see the exact LeBron news, because obviously if LeBron's somehow out, these Lakers are really good plays, the rest of them. If he's in, though, where you got 7,300, Austin Reeves, AD, all the prices feel pretty fair to me if he's in. But if he's out, I think basically all of them become good plays, because they're not going to play that deep of a rotation, I don't think. I mean, they're going to start eliminating some of these guys on the bottom of the list, and start, especially with the trade they just made. They're going to bring DFS all. I'm surprised they're not going to start him, but they do like Max Christie. I honestly don't mind bringing DFS off the bench. I'm sure eventually he'll be a starter just for defense, but I don't mind it just to see, because you know what you got pretty much. I'm going to wait, though, honestly. If you ask me right now, I don't see myself going crazy with the Lakers either, but I want to wait for the news.
I wouldn't be shocked if Shake Milton had a decent role too off the bench, as they go forward. But I do want to see it. I mean, but
I just wish they priced him I wish they gave us a chance to play him. Those
Yeah.
prices don't really give you a chance. I
No,
wish
they
he was
don't.
the price of those Spurs guys we talked about, where you can play some of them in the low 3Ks and stuff, where you can roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the other thing is this next game that we're going to get to, this is where all the DFS, I think, gold is going to be, or at least for most people. So we'll see on the Cleveland and the Lakers game. But I agree. Next game, it's the last game on the slate, Memphis and Phoenix. This is the game you want, Tony. And I mean, regardless of who's starting, they just don't have a lot of guys, right? I think they have 10 bodies, I think is the correct number. I could be a little off. Maybe it's 11, maybe it's 9. I think it is 10, though. And a lot of their good, role players and their main star is out. So you got Jaren Jackson, you got Desmond Bane, who are still, priced up decent. I mean, 7,500 for Bane, Jackson Aves, 8,700. Okay. Scottie Pippen looks like one of the best, mid-tier plays of the entire slate at 5,800. You got guys like Jalen Wells at 4,300, John Conchar at 4,200, Luke Kennard at 3,800. Huff might have a little role here at 3,800. You got a lot of cheap guys, Tony. So how are you going about figuring out who to play? Or are you playing at least 3 Memphis guys on every team, at least 4? Can you play 5? How are you going about handling those type of rules on this slate?
Yeah, I'm definitely 4 at least, because some of these guys are locks to me. Scotty's definitely a lock to me. Conchar and Jalen Wells and Luke Kennard all being right around 4K are very close to locks to me. And then you got the expensive guys, which I don't think are locks, like Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson. Those are the guys that I don't think – they're good plays still. I'm not saying I don't like them, because I do like them, but I'm more on the cheap side of Memphis. They're just going to get minutes. They just feel like great plays in this spot, going against Phoenix too. I'm intrigued too by the UConn kid, Cam Spencer. Has he had any opportunity to so he played 22 minutes last game.
He played a little bit last game.
The 2 games that he's played over 20 minutes, he's got 29 and 19 fantasy points. I just loved his game in college, and he's like a good role player. So
the one thing I'll say about Memphis, Tony, they like to play a bunch of guys. They do like to play a bunch of guys. I mean, obviously a lot of those guys are out. So this is like a step down. So maybe they condense a little bit, but in general, they do like to play a bunch of bodies.
It just makes a lot of sense to me to play these cheaper guys and then fit in the studs in other spots, because they just don't have a lot of guys. So all these guys are going to play, and they're in a good spot. And I just think they're productive. Their price tags are too cheap. So, everyone's on this team. So I'm not saying anything crazy, but I'm definitely in on this team for probably 4 or 5 of these guys for me.
JSU, worst nightmare, club on New Year's Eve or ice in the water? Well, I am married, so club.
You don't like ice? I know you like it without ice, but do you mind it if it's in there? If you had a big glass of ice, would you?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, to be honest.
If I just brought you just a big jug of ice water.
No, I would drink it. Yeah. If you were like Amber, if I was at your house and one of you guys brought me a thing with ice in it, I wouldn't say nothing. I would just drink it. 100%. Yeah. No. But when I go at my house, when I go to get water, there's never ice in it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I wouldn't say nothing if my mom brought me a bottle and it had ice in it. I wouldn't say nothing. I would just drink it. So yeah, no, I'm not afraid of ice in the water for sure. I like this, Raxon. Those are the 2 games that I definitely like. Hello, Jennifer Taylor. How are you? Happy almost New Year. Hammer, Reggie,
way you're a real
Hammer says,
person,
Happy New Year. I got you, Hammer.
Jennifer, you can't. We got a lady watching right now. No way, Jennifer. Are you like the husband and you're on the wife's account? No way, a woman on New Year's Eve is watching us. Jennifer, is it true?
Yes or no? And did the gay talk throw you off, or did you just, join us? I just had to ask. You know what I mean? Because some people don't care, and then some people, you never know. So don't want to offend anyone, but at the same time, can't help it.
Hammer's woofing.
Hammer's
She's
woofing.
the man, baby. That's the best. Ace Ventura. That's the best. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. She's a man.
Straight baby. From your roots, JSU. That's right, Rick Majerus. You know it. Warm water, baby.
Warm water Rick, season. What did Rick do to me? Rick did something to me to piss me off.
He drinks warm water.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it is. I'm a little worried too that Jennifer has not responded since you asked.
Yeah, I think that was a bot or something. There's no way an actual woman's watching us right now.
Real
on New Year's Eve. There's no way.
If they are, we appreciate you for watching.
That's why I want to point it out. If it actually is her, I want to give her some credit.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give her gear or something like that. Like, I mean, geez.
I don't think I would if I had some though.
By the way, we did have a 50K winner in our chat yesterday. Dude took down the 50K on DraftKings. His team was sick too. Tony, did you see his team?
I did. We've had a lot of big winners lately, though.
Yeah, we had Chris 10 from our Discord. Chris, he took down third place, I think it was, in the Best Ball Mania contest on Underdog. I think it was was it 500K for third? It was a lot. Yeah, it was a big.
That's exactly what it was.
And then our guy in the Discord chat, his name is I Am a Poor. He took down 20K in the DraftKings big $20 milli best ball tournament. He took down 20K. Shout out to we've had a ton of winners throughout the
that 500K team was nasty though.
Nasty. Yeah.
It was so good.
And it's not like he had a crazy amount of correlate. It was a Jaden Daniels stack. He had Zach Ertz in it, and I think Luke McCaffrey was his other Washington guy, and that was it. He didn't even have Terry, which was good for this week. And then he brought it back with only.
He was the one that had Jamar Chase, right? But it didn't count this week because he didn't score enough, right? Or was that a different winner? We had so many winners, I don't remember.
I don't think he had Jamar Chase, but I could be wrong. I know he had Drake.
Big winners had the whole Bengals stack, but Chase didn't even count. That's how good his team was.
Wasn't that the best ball?
It could have been. It was probably a different screenshot. Yeah.
It might have been Chris. No, you might have been right.
I don't know. The point being is we had a lot of winners in there. Yeah,
no, there was a lot of good lot of good teams. That team was sick though. He had Bucky and Derrick Henry and he had a lot of good
Bucky had to be
Daniels though and Jared Goff were his quarterbacks. I mean, Jaden Daniels, if you had Jaden Daniels in best ball this year, that helped a ton because he was on a lot of winning best ball teams, Tony. Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow. Like those three guys, I think they were like the best. And Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was the best value at quarterback. Those four quarterbacks, Sam Darnold, you can add because he came on super good down the stretch. But those guys were extremely valuable, extremely good values in best ball at the quarterback. And he had Goff and Daniels, and they obviously got him to the winner's circle. So, yeah, it was awesome to see. Puig in the building. What's going on, Matthew? Chase Brown. Oh, he might have had Chase Brown, Tony. Was it Chase Brown? Because he wasn't
the team
on.
I saw was. I think you were right when you said it was the Best Ball Mania. Is what?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm talking about a different team.
Yeah. All right. So I agree with you. Back to the Memphis side, you talked it up, and I agree with you on the fact that I probably want 4 on like all my teams. I don't see a world where some of these cheap guys don't get there, Tony. Like, I think it's a matter of like which ones. You know what I mean? Are you like Wells, Conchar, Kennard? You were talking about Cam Spencer. Like, there's a bunch of these guys, and I think at least two of them get there. So you got like two of them, and then you get like one of Bane or Jaren Jackson with Scottie Pippen. Like, that's four right there. Those are my favorite type of builds, probably. I really like Luke Kennard. He's 3,800. You talked him up last show. He's put up 26 DraftKings points again. 27 minutes. I don't know, 3,800. I feel like he's a pretty good play. I think a lot of people are going to go Wells over him too. But I think that's one little difference I would make. I don't know how you rank those guys, Tony. I'm going to rank them Kennard, Conchar, or Conchar, Kennard, Wells. How would you rank those three guys? Because those are like the three cheapies that are popping right now.
Yeah, I mean, all these spots like that are always going to be the chalky up front, which I agree with. But when you can pivot, I can't talk, my mouth's too dry.
Yeah, that's all right. He was going to say something about when you can pivot from those guys to like a Cam Spencer who's not going to be owned. That's the way you win a tournament, right? When you go from Jalen Wells or John Conchar to Cam Spencer, that's the tournament winning pivot. And I think that's kind of what he was getting at is he might go something like that as a route. And I don't hate it because right now, let's see, what is he being? I'm just wondering what the projections are. Yes, sir. Wiley, 7-7. DePrez in the house. Let's see. Projections right now on someone like Cam Spencer. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I got to get my screen set up. All right. So right now we've got, I'm on point guard, so I can't see shit. All right. Projections. Cam Spencer, 14 on Saber Sim right now. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, 14 on Saber Sim. And I think Rumpier Sports is 14 as well. So we're kind of the same on someone like him. He's not going to hit like any teams either. So that is a good point Tony's making where like all these other guys like Huff, Wells, Kennard, Conchar, they're going to hit some in the opto, but someone like Cam Spencer, you're going to have to manually bump. So if you if you do that and he comes through, like that's the way you could take home a tournament. And I think that makes a lot of sense from Tony. And just looking at a bunch of my teams, like literally they all have 4 to 5 Memphis guys, like on every team. I'm just like scrolling through right now. And yeah, it's just it's a ton of Memphis guys. So I would jam Memphis. It's just a matter of, how you rank these guys in your projections. And, Pippen's probably the guy I'm going to get the most of. And then after that, Jaren Jackson and Bane, it's just going to depend on, I feel like I'm going to have more open bigs because I feel like this slate is kind of guard loaded. So I feel like I'm going to get more Jaren Jackson over Desmond Bane. That's just my take. I haven't like completely went through all my builds yet, so I don't know 100%, but that's just my take on that, as I feel like I'm going to be more Jaren Jackson over. And yeah, okay, yeah, the runs are definitely showing it. I'm super heavy on Jaren Jackson, and like 25% off from Desmond Bane to Jaren Jackson. So it's a big drop off there. Pippen and Jackson, my two highest owned. Kennard. And I'm going to bump Cam Spencer. I like that take from Big T, even though he might have died on us. I'm not sure. I cannot confirm or deny if Big T is coming back. I have no idea. We might need a wellness check. I might have to call Amber. If we don't get him back here soon, I might have to live phone call his wife just to make sure he's, never mind. Tony,
Oh,
I was
bad
about to
news.
resort to live calling the wife to see if you made it out of the bathroom or something like that.
No, it's bad news. I thought I was gonna make it through the show. I didn't. I couldn't finish the year though, ending like that. So I had to come back on. But
You can go, bro. We're pretty
that
much
was not a
done here.
Lamar situation for the record. It is not out that side. It is out the mouth side, and it is not good right now for me.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You can, make sure wash your hands.
It
Do what you
wasn't
got to
even like
do.
that. The worst part is it's like so deep in my chest that it's just all nothing even comes out. It's just straight dry heave.
Yeah, stuff's going around. What are you gonna? It's that time of the year. Stuff's going around, and you got kids too. So I'm
Oh.
sure like everyone's always sick and stuff like
I was
that.
mid-sentence. I don't even know what I was talking about, but I was mid-sentence.
I know what you were talking about because I finished it. You were talking about how pivoting from one of these chalky guys to a play like Cam Spencer is how you win it. And I finished it for you, so you don't even have to like re-talk about it because I finished the situation. But we're good here. Had a stomach fluke. Yeah, it's just stuff's going around. It's fine. So you'll make it through. Hopefully.
Yeah, I had to fight.
I don't know if you'll be doing a shot though today. So you might just need to stick to water. You better have water in that damn cup. If you're drinking dew, I'm gonna be so pissed. You're not drinking dew right now. Please tell me you're not.
No, I got that. It's not water. It's that flavored water stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
That pink water, whatever this stuff's called.
Yeah, it's with like electrolytes.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
Yeah, Amber gave it to you, right?
I mean, it's just in the thing. I've always drank. It's what I always drink.
Yeah. All right, Big T. Let's give our play. Oh, Phoenix side. Phoenix side. I think is easy because if Devin Booker's in, I think it makes them.
He ain't gonna play.
He's questionable right now. Is he official?
He's not official, I don't think, but he ain't gonna play.
I mean, well, if he's not gonna play, then I like these guys more. Like Mason Plumlee, I'm gonna like a little bit. I know you won't like him. Grayson Allen.
His projection looks good. I mean, how many minutes has he been playing?
I think Grayson Allen, who's back, I think
Mason Plumlee played 26 minutes. If he gets that kind of run,
I think he's going to. I think that's if you ask me for a minutes projection, I'd say between 24 and 26.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's gonna do good in that kind of run because even at 24 minutes, he pops pretty good.
Well, then I like these guys. I like bumping guys like one of KD or Beal, and then you got like the Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, Mason Plumlee. Get like two of those guys. Josh Okogie played decent run.
That's one dude I will never for the rest of my life play, no matter what his price is.
Now, I was going to say Grayson Allen is back, so that might hurt him a little bit, but
you can't play Okogie. He's not in play.
He's not in play? Okay, that's fine.
Like he's beyond not in play. Like even though I don't like him, his projection's even terrible too.
What about Ryan Dunn? What about Ryan Dunn? Can I play Ryan Dunn?
He's projected terrible too, but
I don't like him. I was just asking.
Yeah.
I don't like him for the record. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you can't play those guys that I just talked about. Mason Plumlee's the play that you'll get the most of.
I mean, I still think I always think these spots go lower owned too when everyone's on Memphis. I think the other side largely gets ignored too much. I think you can just shove this game a little bit.
I like game one and
KD.
I like game one and game 4.
If Booker plays, a lot of these guys are way worse plays. But if Booker's out, I mean, Tyus is a good play.
The good thing is that you do have another game at 9, so you're not like completely dead with the game. If like you need to rerun all your stuff, you at least have another game. You know what I'm saying? So you're not like completely out of it. But all right, let's give our play of the day and get out of here. It is on fucking New Year's Eve and people got shit to do and we got to get our content up. So quickly, I'll just give my play of the day. I'm not going to steal yours, but I think, Luke Kennard's going to be lower owned than some of the guys like Jalen Wells and Conchar. I think he's a nice cheap play. favorite stud though is going to be Wemby. I'm going to push Wemby. I'm going to have to project him a little bit more, but that's fine. I'm going to get my Wemby exposure up here. Tony, you want to give a play before we get out of here?
I agree with Wemby, and I just love the idea of playing Wemby and maybe one other early guy and then just slamming that late game. But so Scottie Pippen's ownership looks lower than it should be to me. Just as far as my numbers, what I'm seeing, he's the 5th, 6th highest owned Memphis guy. That's crazy to me. He's my favorite. So I know he's not genuinely like low owned, but Scottie Pippen's my favorite play. I can't believe it. I thought he'd be like the most popular. So I don't know. In my head, he should be the most popular because he's just a free square to me.
In my head, he is the most popular. So
maybe it's just wrong. I'm just looking at like what I see on here. It's got to be wrong though. He's going to be either way. He's the guy I like the most. I think Cam Spencer's my sneakiest, like 1% owned guy, and then I'm with you on Wemby. But you need one of these guys cheaper to like pop off. That's why I like Cam Spencer. I just feel like he could pop off, and no one's going to play him on that team.
I like the call. I think they play. I think they play some of these guys off the bench, like some decent runs. So I don't think they want to push like Luke Kennard 40 minutes. I don't think they want to push some of these guys like big minutes. So that's why I think he plays. Also, Scottie Pippen to double is plus 475. I don't hate that stab on DraftKings, just as a fun little bet. I don't like it. And I think Memphis is always one of those gritty teams. You talk about New Year's Eve, like I think they fight in this game, Tony. I think they compete in this game. You got a lot of role players for Phoenix that are out, even if KD and Beal are in. You got like solid role players that are out for this team. I could see Memphis hanging in this game, possibly winning. Like that wouldn't shock me at all. They're like one of those teams that I feel like they're not checking out because it's New Year's Eve. These guys,
I think they're gonna win. I like Memphis to win in this game.
I kind of like them to win too. I'm with you. So, all right, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Pippen and Cam, absolutely, you can play Pippen and Cam. Yeah. They don't play the same position.
So what I would do is if I'm playing Cam, Tony, I'm down on at least one, maybe two of the three of Conchar, Wells, and Kennard.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I would do. So if you play Cam Spencer, like let's say you're hand building a team, right? If you're playing Cam Spencer, I would only play one of those other three guys.
To me, it's definitely Kennard, which I like Kennard too, but I don't think Kennard and Cam Spencer necessarily correlate very well.
Yeah, to me, it's Kennard or Jalen Wells. I think it's one of.
I agree with that.
Like, because I think he could take time from either of those guys. You know what I mean? So, that's what I would do. But that's going to do it for us, guys. RunPureSports.com. If you're not over there, get over there. Check it out. RPS 15% off. Golf starting back up. I know they got a tournament this week. I think it starts Thursday, so we'll have content up for that. You got the NFL still not done. Week 18. We'll be back for winners on, obviously the Morning Wood Show Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time for Week 18. And we'll have you covered for the whole playoffs. Playoff best ball shows, too. Me and Rubio are going to be doing a playoff best ball show on Thursday talking DK best ball for their big tourney. I think it's $500K up top. So if you like best ball, you can check that show out. That'll be Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time on this YouTube channel. So until then, for Big T and myself, JSU, have a happy new year, everyone. We're out of here.